Hey, welcome to spelling. Okay, so there aren't a super abundance of super great things about distance learning. We're not together. You don't get to hear my jokes in person. We aren't sharing materials. There's a lot of, I don't get to play basketball with you. There's a lot of stuff that makes it kind of icky. But there are a few things that occasionally I find that are probably pretty stellar about doing this. So here's the first one. Not everyone will have this. You don't even need it. But in the classroom, we only have a black expo marker, and you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit, which means you get whatever marker you get. But at home, you might have an expo marker that you want to use that, let's say, is orange. You could do that. Or let's say you have one that's blue. You could do that. In fact, you could have a whole rainbow to use. And I can't even tell you not to do it because you guys are in virtual learning right now. If you have one expo marker, that's all you really need. In fact, you don't even have to do this on your whiteboard. You could, but you don't have to. You could also just do this in your journal. So, number one, I want you to practice the lesson that we're doing. And number two, we can have fun with it if we can. All right. So, first step is I'd like you to take a moment and we are going to write each of our spelling words. Okay? We'll do them together. We are going to try to use appropriate handwriting, no capitals, please, and try to write fairly neatly. That would be nice. Why am I starting with black? I could use black any day. I'm going to start with green. Okay, ready? Lead. L-E-D. Okay. Now, sled. S-L-E-D. Sled. Number 3, bed. B-E-D. You want to practice making that B. You'll notice that Mrs. Smith starts here at the fence. She makes the B and then goes all the way up. If you make your B's and your D's in completely different ways, it really stresses to the brain that they are two different letters and that the B goes to the right and the D goes to the left. Those are just some of the ways to get those really firm in your head. And now, to really confuse you, I'm going to write in green the word r-e-d. Okay. Now I'm going to choose a different color just for fun. We're going to go with purple. Okay, you ready? We are going to do men, n. Okay, and 10, n. 10. Remember, if I'm moving too fast, just pause me. Okay. Wet, w-e-t. Jet, j-e-t. Net, n-e-t. Hold on one second. Oh. Sorry, Mrs. Smith wasn't counting correctly. And last one, step. St-e-p. Okay. So one of the things I want you to take notice of is that each word has this letter in it. This is the letter E. It has the short E sound. So the short sound is its sound that you learn in kinder. Not I, it's Practice that. And the other thing I want you to notice about this is most of our words are what we call CVC. Consonant, vowel, consonant. CVC. Consonant, vowel, consonant. There are two words that are different. Can you point to the two words that are different? These have a consonant blend in the beginning. Sl and st. Here's the trick. It's not sl. You actually put them together. You blend them together. Like when you have a peanut butter jelly sandwich or a sun butter and jelly sandwich, you are putting the sun butter and the jelly together and they mix, right? It's not like I can eat the sun butter different from the jelly if I put the two sandwich pieces together. So that's the same thing here. This is sl, this is st, and that's what we're working on today as we move past this and go on to our next strategy. So what I'd like you to do is to pause me and erase your board just like you would in the classroom. Okay, so next step, we're going to look at two words, and we're going to start with this word. We're going to start with a CVC word. Lip. Now I'm going to take that CVC word and add a consonant blend at the beginning. It becomes the word slip. So lip becomes slip. Now here's the consonant blend. Okay, so let's do a couple more. Okay. Puppy dogs like to lick, and that could make things pretty slick. Lick to slick, notice. Okay, and then let's do one with a different, okay, we'll make sure that we lock up the block. Sorry, I forgot my pattern. Okay, so you can see we're going from one consonant to two, and it's not just, and in the beginning, you can also have consonant blends at the end, like in this word. Mp. So the consonant blend is mp. Okay, so we're going to do a couple different games with this. I'd like you to please erase your board. And we are going to do this. I am going to read to you 3 words. I'd like you to write them on your board, and then you'll check it with the words that I write down. First word, smell, smell, smell. Fret, fret, fret. Stick, 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 stick. Okay. Smell, fret, fur. Stick, okay. Also, there's a couple other things that we've talked about before. We have glued letters, and we also have another consonant blend right there that we've studied before. Now, I'm going to write 3 words on my board. You're going to write the same 3 words, and then you're going to circle the consonant blends. Please circle the consonant blends. Challenge, say them out loud. How do I pick out consonant blends when there's 4 letters in a word? How do I know that they're consonants? Well, if it's not a vowel, it's consonant. Vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. So if it's not one of these, it's a consonant. And you know that you can put them together if they're next to each other, especially at the beginning of a word. So in this word, this is the word up, glad, odd, crop, glad, prod. Okay. Now, erase your board, please. Okay. I am going to attempt to draw a picture of a word that has a consonant blend, and it'll be your job to write that word on the board. Okay, I'm gonna try to do 3. Here's the first one. Okay, second one. And now the last one. This one's just a color. Now, with each of these, the vowel portion could be difficult, especially this one. If it is, that I'm okay with that. You can also bring this down a notch by just thinking of the word and doing the consonant blend. So let's go over the answers. This is a block. So our consonant blend is bull. And then if you wanted to spell the whole thing, it would be bull, Okay, this is a train. Hopefully you could see that. So the consonant blend is tur. The vowel is a little bit more difficult. It's A-I-N. And this is the color blue. So the consonant blend is bull. And then the vowels are U and E. Okay, thank you for joining me on that little adventure. We're going to put those whiteboards away. You now need this paper, which has the circles and the smileys. So what I'd like you to do is to take out a crayon. Well, why don't you pause me now so that you can take out this paper and a crayon and your scissors and your glue and your journal. That's your English Language Arts journal. And I'll do the same, and I'll see you back here in a moment. So here are all my materials. Move them off to the side. I'm going to open up my book to the next available page. There we go. Okay, turn this. I'm actually going to turn it over. All right. And now I'm going to pause, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to pause yet. I'm going to show you how I want you to cut each of these out. So this is a little bit of a cutting activity too, so you have to be careful. The first thing is each one of these circles needs a force field all the way around. So we're going to carefully cut out each circle, and then each one also needs a careful force field down its center. So however the line in the center is created, that's the one you need to follow. And then you also please need to make a border force field around the outside. There we go. 1, 2, and 3, and done. Okay, so I'm going to pause mine and go through all the rest of them and then cut them all out, and you should do the same thing. I'll see you back here in just a moment. Here is an example of what to do next. So now I have my circles cut out, and you can see that I've cut them in half. I don't know if you saw it, but on the website I named this Humpty Dumpty because these are all Humpty Dumptys. And Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again, but you could. So what you're going to do is you're going to look and you're going to turn over all of your half Humpties, and you're going to mix them all up. Then you're going to flip them over and try to match them up to make actual words from your spelling list. So each of these Humpties is a word on your spelling list. So it's not random. Sometimes when I do these, kids will just put together random and they're not actually making words. I want you to make words. So here's an example. Med. No, and the puzzle doesn't fit. Men. Okay, and here we have sled. All right, now I'm going to move this over. So Humpty Dumpty, if you recall, he sat on a wall. Now you do not have to do what I am doing if you want to create another scene for your Humpties. This is just a little bit of creativity for us, because why not play and do some art when we're doing some spelling? And so here's the wall. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue all my Humpties on the wall. So if I were to keep going, I'd probably keep going and make the rest of the wall, but I don't want to take up all your time making a wall. And so then I would take my Humpties and I would glue them on the wall. Just like that. All in the correct fashion. Now let's say I can't fit all my Humpties on one page. What should I do? Go to a second page. Right? Yeah, that's okay too. All right, so then we do this. And then if you want to get really creative, I don't know if you know this, but sometimes when you watch this Humpty Dumpty rhyme on YouTube or another location where you may have seen it, or even seen it in a book, generally the Humpty actually has arms and legs. So you might even want to draw some arms and legs just for fun. Okay, you can get as creative as you want with your Humpty Dumptys. And remember, all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put him back together again, except for my firsties sure could. Enjoy!